Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on episode 11, High Energy Relationships. I was really worried about making this lesson because it's 24 pages in the manual, and I was like, how am I going to get all this content into a video, and how am I going to make sure I hit everything and all this other fun stuff? And then I realized one of the things in this lesson is the relationship to myself. And am I being anabolic or catabolic? Well, I know I'm being anabolic because I'm making this video. I was being catabolic at the beginning of studying my notes and reviewing and refreshing where I'm at so I can train you on this. So today we're going to go through some reading again. Like I said, there's going to be a whole lot. There's going to be some tables and some columns to draw for your notebook. And let's get started. So think about your life at home and work. In virtually every moment of your life, you're in a relationship with yourself, significant others, workers, friends, family, and if your beliefs are such, your higher self. So your relationships can bring you joy, they can bring you pain. One of the things to know about your relationships is that they are a mirror of yourself. It's like whatever you give out, you're going to get back. So if you give out angry or catabolic, or fear or catabolic, or if you give out forgiveness and catabolic, you're going to see a mirror of that in other people. We'll find out how and why. So our relationships tell us who we are and who we aren't. In an anabolic relationship setting, we're being nurturing. It's our key to growth and development. In a catabolic relationship setting, you have destructive and limiting relationships. So let's look at some questions to define positive or healthy relationships. Because we're affected by relationships in profound ways, we want to know, what are your criteria for a positive or healthy relationship? We'll begin there. It's not a trick question. It's just to get you started. And then the second question is, what differences exist between your positive or healthy definition for professional and personal relationships? So write those down and we'll move right on. So we're going to look at other anabolic thoughts that you can have in terms of having a high energy relationship. You can see others with respect for wonderful growth. You can allow mutual growth. You can allow individual growth. You can find win-win scenarios, and you can motivate each other to succeed. So let's look at a table. We're going to do 4 columns. And so it's a table in my book, but in your notebook, it can be 4 columns. And I'll tell you what to write on each column from left to right. So on the top left, you want to write the key person and the type of relationship you have with them. Like, oh, Francis, my spouse, for example. Or if you wrote, oh, Francis, my coworker, Francis, the CEO, Francis, my CIO, Francis, my marketing professional or sales professional, whoever they are by name, and then their relationship to you, whether it's personal or professional. The column after that is you want to write your energy in the relationship. So levels 1 through 7. What are your energy levels? And then in the next column after that, you want to write their energy in the relationship level. And then you want to write the impact as the last column, the impact to your relationship level. So if you're a 7 and they're a 4, what impact does that have on your creativity? So I'll give you an example of some things you can write in the 4th column. If you feel happy, energized, secure, and loving towards these people, then the relationship most likely increases your energy. So you want to write increase. And if you feel belittled, angry, frustrated, drained, then the relationship probably decreases your energy. You want to write decrease. And then in that last column, if you have no feelings or if the 2 energy levels match, then write neutral in the 4th column. And look closely at these relationships as they can hold you where you are as opposed to moving you forward. So sometimes when it's neutral, it's like, oh, this is great. This person doesn't make me feel an increase or a decrease in energy. I'm just perfectly comfortable. Maybe that's keeping you stagnant. Maybe not. Then what we wanted to do is we want to look at relationships which increase your energy are the ones you may decide to nurture and grow. You may decide to change or avoid, including leaving the relationships that decrease your energy. So now we're going to write another little table. So you can write 3 columns. And this time in your notebook, on the left column, write nurture and grow. So who do you want to nurture and grow your relationships with? In the middle, write change. Who do you want to change your relationships with? And then on the right, who do you want to leave or remove from relationships? So in the remaining parts of the segment, we'll be working together to develop strategies and develop relationships or change them. So here we're going to look at relationship gaps. So as you listed all the key relationships in your life, you may have thought about important relationships that are missing. Let's capture these thoughts and take a look at what you want to fill in the gaps. So what key relationships are missing from the ones that you wrote? So you might not have a relationship with a marketing expert. Like, for example, I don't have anybody doing my marketing. Hint, hint for any marketers that are watching this and you want to pitch me on your products. That might be a gap. I don't have anybody doing my selling right now. Again, salespeople, hint, hint, if you want to get in touch with me and create an anabolic collaborative relationship, that could be awesome. So what is the gap? Next question. What is the gap impacting your life and energy? So what is this gap impacting in your life and your energy? Sorry. And how is it impacting that? So you want to look at what is the gap? How is it impacting your life and your energy by not having that? Do you have to do everything? Do you feel drained because you're running all around like a chicken with your head cut off and you don't know where to start? Stuff like that. So another question, what would be different if this or these relationships were in your life? Would it make it easier to have people to delegate your work to, which is something that I want to do, but right now I'm working on owning all my stuff that I'm working on so that I know exactly how it functions, how it works, all the pieces of it, where everything fits, where things don't fit, and how I can find my clients and do the best jobs to serve them, and then automate that. So that's going to be a gap for me. It's not a gap yet. And then another question is, how can you fill that gap? So after that, let's go on to the most important relationship, which is you. We're going to look at your energy level in this relationship and all of your energy levels where you assess them to be. And then what we're going to look at is going from there, how can you get the best out of your relationship with yourself? So the main relationship to develop is the one with our own selves. When we're aligned in relationship with ourselves, we can then enjoy and value our relationships for what they truly offer. Instead of coming from need or lack, we can realize that our relationships are gifts and opportunities to grow and relate with others in an empowering way. So let's take a look at your energy and your relationship with yourself. So now make yourself a chart with 3 columns. Now on the left column, I'll read you what's here. The middle and the right column are going to be blank. So the top of the left column, write energy level. We'll go through each of those levels. There's going to be 7 of them, and I'll tell you what to write so that you'll know how to reference it. The middle column, write characteristics of your relationship with yourself. So what that means, what does it look like? And I'll go through 3 of these with you so you know what it looks like in each of the energy levels as an example. And then the last one you'll write is the percentage of your total energy. So all 7 columns have to add up to 100. So let's say one of them is 50% and then the other ones come out to be the remaining 50%. Just divvy it up so you get your entire energy for the day and how you're spending that as a relationship for yourself. So level 1 on the left-hand side, energy level, is victim. Level 2 is conflict. Level 3 is responsibility. If you need to pause this at any time, feel free. I'm going to keep going. Level 4 is concern. Level 5 is reconciliation. Level 6 is synthesis. And level 7 is non-judgment. So what do we mean by characteristics of your relationship with yourself? If I'm being in a relationship with myself and I'm being a victim to myself in a relationship with myself, I might say, well, I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to do that lesson on episode 7, high energy relationships. And as a victim, I'm going to say, I'm overwhelmed. There's 24 pages. It's too much. I'm not going to do it. So now I'm a victim of my own making in a relationship to myself. What if I'm at conflict in level 2 around that same topic? I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to make this freaking 24-page booklet into a video training for people. Why am I doing this? I don't want to bother, blah, 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 blah. Level 2, conflict. Level 3, responsibility. So that could be, all right, look, I said I was going to do this. It might not be my favorite thing to do in the world, which is one of my favorite things. And I'm going to do it because I'm going to learn how to cope with it. I'm going to learn how to be responsible like I said I was. And I'm just going to get out there and do it. And then level 4, concern. Level 5, reconciliation, etc. Until you get through all your energy levels. And then give yourself an assessment as to the percentages. So if level 1 is like 10%, if they're all 10 and you're at 70, put that 30% somewhere. Make sure you know in relationship to yourself where all that's coming out so you can see it on paper. Question, how can you remove energy levels 1 and 2? Why do you want to remove catabolic energy? So an exercise you can do that I did in my coaching school, and you may not want to do this because it can be annoying, is take your thumb and put it in your side, like between 2 of your ribs, and push gently. And then add slightly more pressure until it becomes annoying but not painful. This is a suggestion. You don't have to do it. And I'm not a medical professional. So do this at your own risk. If you already have pain there, don't do it. Just imagine it. But if you're good to go and you're in good health and you want to see what it feels like to have catabolic energy, that annoying pain is catabolic energy. Imagine having that with you through the whole day. Some people carry pain with them through the whole day, and that can be a catabolic thing for you. So if you can relieve your pain, take away that finger by having anabolic energy, oh, now there's no more pain. Now there's, a fluid system working where it's supposed to be in my body. So I'm not focused on, oh my God, that pain. Just like, oh my God, that fear and anger of catabolic energy. So what can you do and how to remove that energy? Next question. Even though levels 3 and 4 are anabolic, there are much lower levels of energy compared to 5, 6, and 7 levels. Energy here in 3 and 4 diverts your energy from higher levels, which is 5, 6, and 7. So what strategies can you take to shift your energy from level 3 and 4 to your higher levels of 5, 6, and 7? Next question. Levels 5, 6, and 7 are powerful forces of creative energy. What can you do to increase these levels of energy, to tap these levels of energy in order to create an empowering relationship with yourself? Now that you've done this exercise, now you have a strategy to get the best out of your energy and out of your relationship with yourself. So sometimes we see traits in others that we admire. And we're going to go through traits we see in others so that you can learn how you feel when you're feeling great, when you're feeling not so great about other people. Because relationships with others can provide us with powerful clues as to who we are and who we're not. Remember, that's how we see ourselves in others' relationships, as a mirror of ourselves. It allows us to see who we are and who we're not. In relationships that are working well, traits of other people are something that we admire, and we want to oh, wow, I like that in you because I see that in me. In other relationships, others' actions may not describe how you feel about who you are, and feelings of dislike may help you stand up for what you believe in and who you are not. Questions. So what are the traits that I admire most for all people in my anabolic relationships? Second question. How can I do more of these things in my own life? Third question. The traits I dislike most or resist in my catabolic relationships are. So for example, if you admire honesty in an anabolic relationship, you might despise dishonesty in a catabolic relationship. Just so you know how a starting point for your catabolic. Now, next question is, how do these traits actually reflect what I don't like about myself? And those are the catabolic traits. So if you said, yeah, I don't like about myself because I'm not always honest. Sometimes I tell white lies, or sometimes I run a red light, or sometimes I say something that I didn't mean because I want to just get the conversation going and then, get on with something else because I'm trying to be distracting and manipulative or whatever you want to call it. So how do those traits actually reflect what you don't like about yourself? Next question. What would I like to do about these negative personal traits? And from there, after you've completed that exercise, then you can either work with me or you can do this on your own, and you can write your plan to do all that. So your plan is, how do I change my catabolic energy and how can I do that? Again, if you get stuck, remember, you can hit me up in the comments and you can say, hey, Francis, I saw your video and, I wanted to ask you about what you're talking about in terms of traits, that I see in others, and anabolic traits, catabolic traits, etc. How can I do that exercise? And we can have a dialogue. You can comment. DMing is good. If you want to leave voice messages on DM, awesome. If you want to get on my calendar and call me, there's no obligation, and it's complimentary. It's up to 2 sessions complimentary. And one of the things I'm going to do for my followers is I'm going to offer you coaching at an extremely affordable rate, and also coaching in a giveaway. So stay tuned for that coming up, because I realize I can do that so that you can have the exposure of, well, what is coaching? Not everybody necessarily will get an invitation, so please don't feel left out if you don't. You can always DM me and say, hey, how can I get that really good discount on coaching? Or how can I get some complimentary coaching in addition to what you already offer? Because I have several different ways of doing that. Now, let's talk about nurturing and growing anabolic relationships. Isn't that nice? All right, here we go. I'm going to read you some more. So when feelings come to you, when you think about and are interacting in your anabolic high relationship energies, what most of us feel is joy, happiness, fulfillment, and reward. But with positive relationships, they're healing, they build, they're growth orientated, they make us feel oriented. Sorry, I said orientated and I never say that. They're growth oriented. They make us feel good, confident, and optimistic. These relationships inspire and motivate us to move towards what we most want out of work and life. By growing and nurturing these positive relationships, we bring more high energy into our workplace and into our home and personal life. And as a result, we grow and prosper as individuals. So there's many ways to grow and nurture relationships. I'm going to give you some ideas. You can spend more time with other people. You can create a joint project with people. Speaking of creating joint projects, join me on part 2, which is coming up to continue nurturing and growing anabolic relationships. See you there.